everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a great day today. Today I want to do a video about my 5 secrets for taking professional photos on the Poshmark app. So if you didn't know, I do work full-time in a corporate job and I sell on Poshmark as my side hustle. And when I started like 3.5 years ago, I used to go look at closets and see these beautiful branded photos that all looked the same and almost looked like they were taken in a professional studio. And I had no idea how people did that. So I kind of wanted to demystify that process and share a couple tips that I personally have that have helped me in my Poshmark closet. If you want to look at mine and kind of see the look and feel of how my Poshmark closet looks after 3.5 years of trial and error, I'll leave the link down below to my Poshmark closet, and let's go ahead and get into the tips. The first tip I have is to use good lighting, and this doesn't have to be expensive. You could go outside into natural light, put a nail on the wall and put a hanger on that nail and just take photos that way so that the item is clearly represented in the photos. I use 2 softbox lights, and I'll link them in the description down below so you can see which ones I use, along with natural light for my photos most of the time. Now if it's at nighttime, I just use the softbox lights, but for the best results, I'll use natural light through the windows with my softbox lights, and that's how I get the best photos. Lighting is really, really important, and that leads me to tip number 2. So if you don't have great lighting, another thing you can do is edit your photos. I like to use the app Lightroom CC to edit my photos, and you can use presets that you purchase or download on the app and play around with what settings work for you to make your photos all look consistent. That's what I use for my Instagram actually, and I haven't tried it for Poshmark, but if you're having a lot of trouble with lighting, try Lightroom CC or another photo editing app to make your photos look consistent. Obviously the editing is going to turn out better if you start with taking photos in good lighting, so just remember that and don't get frustrated, but you can use something like Lightroom CC to brighten your photos up. In that Lightroom CC app, if I haven't said that enough already, it's completely free. You can find it in the App Store and download it. Lightroom CC is a part of Adobe, so it's just one tool to try out. I tried it with my Instagram and it works great. You can save different presets and reuse them, but that's just something to try if you're having trouble with the lightness and the brightness of your photos. My next tip is to take photos of items that look polished, and this doesn't have to take a lot of time. This really means taking some time to steam or iron the clothing that you're taking photos of, or taking some time to wipe the dirt off of a pair of shoes before you list them, or taking some time to dust off a bag that you're about to take a picture of. I think it's really the little things that make those items stand out, and I didn't have a steamer for the longest time because I was working on saving some money to buy that, but it's made all the difference for me, and it actually sanitizes the items as well. If you don't have those things, you can also just wash the items, and if they're able to be dried, go ahead and dry them. I think most people have an iron. You could use that. There's a ton of other options, but try to make sure your clothing looks really polished, not a lot of wrinkles, and that will really help when you're taking these photos, make them stand out on the Poshmark app. The 4th tip I have is to take photos with a consistent look and feel to them. So there are several ways that I would recommend doing this. The first is to just take photos in the same place so that they all look the same. The second that I've seen a lot of people do, and it's something that I do, is I have a branded hanger with my username on it at Emily H. Munn. I got this from Handcrafted Affairs on Etsy. I will link them down below. But this is just one way to very cheaply brand your closet with some sort of a logo or a username so people know it's yours. And the 3rd tip I have is to brand your backdrop. So this may cost a little bit of money to do, but essentially I will show you in a little bit the wall I have behind me where I take clothing photos in my flat lay setup. But what I've done is created really unique pieces to take my photos on, so it's really recognizable on the app. And that did take a little bit of money on the front end, but I've been using it, at least the backdrop behind me, for a year now, and it has just been really, really helpful. I love it. I took some inspiration from the interior design of my house to put it together, but that's just been great because it's very known that this is my backdrop, and when you see a photo, you can relate it to me and my closet and my brand. So that may take a little bit of money and something you want to do down the line, but branding your closet I think can be really, really helpful when you're trying to make sure your photos are unique and professional. This is the wall that I use for all of my clothing Poshmark photos, and this was inspired by the main accent wall I have in my home, so basically the interior design of my home, and I will go through each of these pieces. I got most of these at the At Home store. So this Good Morning Beautiful picture I got from At Home. I just like the message. The ornaments I got were all just for texture, so that's a seashell ornament. And then here is just a pretty picture, and I got that just because I liked the look of it with the colors on my wall. This is a little figurine of a ballerina, and I just thought they added a nice touch, and it kind of brings in the fashion aspect, and I put it on a little shelf just so it stood out a little bit more. And then in the middle here, we have just one of my clothing items that I have for sale. It's an equipment top. Obviously, this changes with what I'm selling, but on it is this hanger I got from Handcrafted Affairs. It says at Emily H. Munn, like I showed earlier, and this just adds a nice personal touch to my wall, and then something to hang it on. I just liked the color of this, and I thought it looked nice with everything else. Another ornament, this is a butterfly to add some texture to the wall. This is a painting, I really like this one. It says, with God, all things are possible, which I really believe, and I thought it was a nice message to put on the wall. This is a feather ornament, and this just kind of adds some more texture and color to the wall. A little white tile is, I guess, what you would call it, kind of a flower print, and again, just adding texture. There is a picture here that says hope, and this just kind of goes along with my message. I think you should always have hope. And I just put that on there because it kind of goes with my brand. And then the bottom one is just a little heart to cover up the outlet, so it looks a little bit nicer. So that's my whole wall, and I really like it. It took quite a while to design, and I would say this project cost over $100 to do, but I've used it for over a year. I've definitely got my money's worth, and I always have people tag me on Instagram and say something like, oh, I knew it was your closet because it had this wall behind it. So the color of this wall is called Hazel. It's from Sherwin-Williams, if you were wondering, but you could also do white on whatever wall you're wanting to take pictures on. Sometimes this color has a little bit of trouble working out with the lighting. So just thought I would share my wall. Here is my flat lay setup, and I will sometimes use the same wall to take pictures if the boots or something that I'm listing is really, really tall. But essentially I use this just for shoes. So I got this rug that's on the floor here from Anthropologie. I just thought the print was really, really unique, and it kind of went along with the rest of the look and feel of my closet, which is why I bought it. Just bought the smallest size because I don't need a huge rug. And then the leaf here is a Monstera leaf. It's fake. It's from World Market, and I got it with a gift card, but it was around $25. So the whole project costed me around $60. But I really, really like it, and I think it adds a unique touch to all of my Poshmark photos. You obviously know they're mine, and I'm really happy with it overall. And the last tip I have when you're creating your professional photos is just get inspired and make it your own. I think that is so important. You are a unique person and you have unique style, and I think it's important, if you can, to bring that into your Poshmark closet. So whether that be through photos or the brands you're selling, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Some of the ways that I've been inspired, I like to view Instagram accounts like interior design Instagram accounts and kind of look at what other people are doing. I like to look at the interior design of my own home, like I said before, for inspiration. And the other thing you can do is go to websites of clothing brands that you like and see how they're taking the photos. So I think a good example is like Anthropologie. I really like the way they take their photos, and I've gotten some of my inspiration just from looking at their website or going into their store and seeing what they're doing if you have that ability. So there's a lot of ways to get inspired, and you can take some time to think about it, but ultimately being creative can be a lot of fun. It's just looking for the inspiration and what you personally want to do. That's it for this video. I hope it was helpful, and if you're just getting started, that it kind of demystifies the process on how to take good photos. If you have any other tips, please leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Sunday and Thursday. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!